Hey beautiful people, it's your relationship coach, Janelle. Welcome back to The Successful Invisible, Response and React. Today we're diving into Ayesha Curry's viral interview, confession, and podcast episode. The one where she admits she never wanted marriage or kids. It's giving modern woman meets traditional life, and it's got the internet divided. Before we unpack the real lessons behind her words about identity, ambition, and how women lose themselves in love, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want deeper convos and exclusive coaching resources, join my coffee community. The link in the description below.
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life.
Did you talk to Steph about it?
He tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, it's not true. So why? And I'm like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughters so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
If I have a career and I'm not home, like did you experience that?
I still experience that. I still experience that. I'm always in therapy talking about this. If you lose all of those things that were interesting about you, even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel confident and cool, then what are you doing?
Fuck that nigga. He's not even my type. I didn't even want that nigga. The one I really wanted, I'm not even gonna expose it. He trapped me. I didn't want them fucking kids. I didn't want them kids. He's the breadwinner. I wanted my own career. You understand? He trapped me with them fucking kids. I didn't want them kids. Okay? I didn't want to get married. I didn't want to have kids. I just wanted to be in the streets, honey.
Ayesha Curry, you are an example of a woman who has just about everything and is still not satisfied. You get on these podcasts embarrassing your husband, and it's just not a good look. This is how you sound. Do you want to be married? I don't want to be married. I never wanted that for myself. I never was the person who thought about wedding dresses and weddings. No, that wasn't me. I ain't want that. Well, what about kids? I ain't want them either. No, I ain't want no kids. That's not the life that I wanted for myself. I wanted to do my own thing, be my own person. I wanted to be the star. I mean, the kids, they here now. I mean, I love them, but that ain't what I wanted. I ain't want no kids. I ain't want no kids or no husband. And this may sound weird to y'all, but it's been 10 years. I mean, why ain't nobody trying to holler at me? It's been 10 years. What's wrong with me? I mean, why ain't no man trying to holler at me? I mean, what's wrong with me? You're a married woman, married to one of the best basketball players in the NBA, a good businessman, a good husband, a good father, and then you wonder why other men ain't trying to holler at you. Perhaps it's because they respect your husband. So they respected his wife. And they say be careful what you ask for. Because now that you putting your husband out here and you putting your feelings out here in the atmosphere, you letting everybody know how you really feel. These women out here may not be so nice and give you no grace. So you be careful what you asking for. Because somebody might come in and swoop your good husband up. Then what you gonna say? You can have that life that you wanted. Because this ain't it. All I know is she ain't no Savannah James, because she would never. Have y'all seen any of Ayesha Curry's interviews? What y'all think? Y'all think she disrespecting her husband? Or she got a right to feel the way she feel? Y'all think she got valid feelings? Or y'all think it's disrespectful? Drop your comments down below. And like, share, comment, and repost.
This is how I know the internet is just preying on people's downfall or just want to be negative. These people are talking about Ayesha Curry's interview like she said something negative. Of course, not all girls want to grow up and have children and get married. That's not their dream. Not all girls dream of their wedding day. That's some women. That's not all women. And like she said, you don't know what you want. You thought you wanted to be the career girl, but in hindsight, you don't know what you want because that's what you're thinking in that moment, in that time, in that day and age. She didn't say she didn't want to be a mama to the kids that she have. She said before she had kids, she never thought that she wanted to be a mother. She never thought that she wanted to be a wife. She wanted to be the career girly. So, get a grip, people. Stop trying to make everything negative. Jeez.
I'm trying to figure out if we all watched the same interview, because I did sit down to listen to the entire podcast with Ayesha Curry on Call Her Daddy, and it's really the people that are doing exactly what she talked about people doing, which is basically telling her that she should sit down and be happy and be pretty because her husband is Steph Curry and he's making a lot of money. And so what does she have to complain about? And I think that is a wild take to take from this conversation, considering the fact that she was not complaining at all. In fact, I think she expressed a lot of gratitude for, the doors that have been opened as a result of her husband and who he is and who they are as a couple, while also being really transparent and honest that the life that she has came at the cost of the life that she thought she wanted, the life that she did want before she became Ayesha Curry, Steph Curry's wife, mom of 4. And genuinely, I don't think that there's anything wrong with naming that. I think the most radical and powerful thing that we as women can do is be honest about what the costs of our choices and our decisions and our lives are. I think that's really important. I think that it sets a beautiful example for her children, that she is being honest about the fact that, yeah, I got married at 22 and that was insane. And I can't believe that no one else in my life was saying, yo, 22 is really young. I don't know. I thought it was a great talk. She absolutely was not saying anything that I think should be perceived as negative or ungrateful, or even saying that she's miserable and hates her life, because those are not words that came out of her mouth, and those are not words that I don't think she would ever use to describe her life. I think that she just is realizing that, and she realized very early that she sacrificed a lot, and is now thinking about, well, how can I have the life that I want, continue to cultivate my identity as Ayesha, and as mom and wife. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If anything, I think that should be celebrated.
I hate when I'm reminded that the patriarchy will be upheld, because there's certain things that I expect from men, but as a woman, I don't understand why you're confused about what Ayesha Curry is saying. God forbid that a girl gets into a serious relationship at 18, 19, 20 years old and everything that she had anticipated for herself doesn't go according to her plan. This does not mean that she dislikes her husband, she dislikes her kids, she dislikes her family, and it's really weird that every time a woman airs out her frustrations, you guys are so male-centered that you can't separate the woman from the man. Because of who Ayesha's husband is, you guys automatically think she should be grateful, and anytime she talks about something, she's embarrassing him. What Ayesha is saying are conversations that everyday women, everyday people have with their friends, their families, their therapists, even on open panels all the time. So I don't understand why everyone's so confused about what she's saying. And silencing Ayesha and telling her that she should just shut up and stop talking is literally the equivalent of telling athletes to just shut up and dribble.
As a therapist, it's interesting to watch people's reaction to Ayesha Curry's interview. I realized that a lot of people do not do self-reflection because what she was talking about, I don't see anything wrong with what she said. And that is because I am sitting with people in therapy all day and we are exploring these things as well. In that moment, of course, this was a rehearsed speech, but she was being vulnerable. She was reflecting on the choices that she has made. She was reflecting on her past. And it makes me wonder, do people ever sit down to reflect on their past? She didn't say anything about not liking her husband. I think the men that are upset that she is embarrassing her husband. I'm like, how is she embarrassing her husband? How? And these are regular conversations that people have in therapy every day. In couples therapy, people have such conversations where you look back on your life and you will be like, oh, maybe when I was 20 and I did this, I wasn't thinking about this, or I didn't want to do it, that kind of thing. So me as a therapist, I'm going to say a lot of people need that self-reflection. You need a moment to reflect back on your past life.
Let's keep it on mindset, okay? Steph and Ayesha Curry. Beautiful couple. Rich as fuck couple. Kids gorgeous, all of that, okay? Let's get down to the nitty gritty, because if you know me, I don't waste no fucking time. This is my opinion and my opinion only. I'm always speaking, up for women and speaking from the perspective of a woman, because I'm a woman. And in a relationship, I'm a wife. So I speak from that perspective, but we're going to do some flip side shit. Steph Curry, honey, sweetheart, you're married to a woman who's jealous of your success. She's jealous of the attention you get. She's jealous of your fame. Somehow in her mind, you have stuck her with this life of being a mom, which she never wanted, which she somewhat enjoys. Of course, she loves her children, but she was meant to be a career woman. She was meant to be a star. She was meant to get all the attention that you are getting. You were supposed to be a high school basketball coach. She was supposed to be. And in her mind, I think she resents you, because in her mind, she's this beautiful, gorgeous, amazing, fabulous woman that should be out there getting all of this adoration and attention that you are getting. So while you out here making shoes and putting Bible verses on it, hitting 34 3 shots in a row, busting your ass, getting to the bag, taking care of your family, your wife is slowly but surely resenting you. And it shows. She has subtle ways of dropping those gems in different interviews. The most recent one, she made it clear that she never wanted to be a mom. She didn't want kids. She was supposed to be a career woman. You try to resonate with her. I would love to know how your mom and your dad feel about her. I know y'all gonna keep everything in the, you know what I'm saying, because y'all celebrities and y'all want people in your business like that. But I'm a mother of a son. If I had to bet money, I would bet that your mama can't stand her. Can't stand her. Tolerates her because she love her baby. But if me and mama could have a one-on-one, she probably wouldn't say nothing, but she'll probably be like, girl. And we all know what that means. Her microaggressions. Okay? She's passively aggressive when she talks about you in interviews, bro. She wants to be wanted by these rapper niggas, by these industry niggas. She wants that. She wants attention. That's important to her. She wants to be the famous one. You weren't supposed to be famous. You were supposed to be a high school basketball coach. And the fact that you're getting all of this admiration from the world, she resents you for that shit. And I bet you behind closed doors, y'all have plenty of arguments about it. This is just my evaluation. I don't wish this for them at all. In my opinion, she is the toxic one. Okay? I believe she's a beautiful woman on the outside, but I believe that her soul is very unhealed. She's very superficial, in my opinion. And I believe in her mind, she's supposed to be the superstar of that relationship, not him. And as fate would have it, he's such an incredible basketball player. Look, he's a star. But she makes it clear through her verbiage, she's very unhappy. And I feel like she resents Steph Curry. You're married to somebody who's jealous of you. And Steph Curry gonna defend her to the dickens. He gonna defend her because he loves her. And if you know they story kind of, you know that they met in like Vacation Bible School or some shit way back when they was teenagers or some shit. And because he was a little skinny, red bone, you know what I'm saying? And she was like the pretty girl she probably thought. But he ended up becoming the star, and now she feels some type of way. Honey, that's a whole nother level of toxicity. A whole nother level of toxicity. Women like that will go out of their way to sabotage everything. She will go out of her way not to compliment that man. Because the rest of the world is on your dick, so what do you need me to compliment you for? You're getting all of the attention that I'm supposed to be getting. That is just my evaluation on the outside looking in. I've never met her or him. So this is just me on the outside looking in. That is the thing when celebrities put their life out there. They do these interviews. We, the people, get the opportunity to listen to their views, and then we get to make evaluations like I just did. And I feel like Steph and Ayesha Curry are a beautiful couple. But I feel like she's dangerous. I feel like she's toxic. And I feel like she's jealous of her husband's success. And that's inside the mindset of Ayesha Curry. That's just my opinion, you guys. My opinion. Don't come for me. If you do come for me, do it with respect. Or you know I'm going to check the fuck out your ass after that you deserve.
When it comes to Ayesha Curry, I'm starting to believe that people are choosing to purposely misunderstand her, have a hard time comprehending simple words, or just don't like when women speak, period. I watched her entire 1 hour and 4-minute interview with Alex Cooper on Call Her Daddy, and she didn't say anything wrong or bad. Ayesha Curry never said that she hated her life or even implied that. She talked about how she thought her life was going to go one way that wasn't necessarily family-centered, but she never implied or even said that she regretted the trajectory of her life. Her life was changing quickly, but she didn't think twice about it, which to me sounds like she was okay with the decision she was making to get married and start a family early. She said that after her first child turned 1, there was a shift within her where she felt like she had personal goals that she would like to achieve, but still at the same time loved her life being a wife and a mom. She got married at 22 and didn't have much life experience, but she never even implied that she regretted doing any of that. She kept saying that she was grateful and literally wouldn't change a thing. Her reflecting on her life does not mean that she regrets how her life went or is going. She also said that being a young mom with an entrepreneurial spirit was difficult, but it made her resilient and she was grateful. She also said that she hated being in the spotlight in the beginning because she didn't know what to expect. When Ayesha Curry and Stephen Curry got into a relationship, his primary goal wasn't even to play in the NBA. They were subjected to a lot of stuff that she didn't know was going to happen, like random people opening her door to see her baby, which is an example of something she didn't know to expect, but who would expect that whether you were a celebrity or not? I feel like so many people want her to be a basketball wife and sit there and not say anything. Not that there's anything wrong with being just a basketball wife and sitting there and not saying anything. If she wants to do more, has the ability to do more, and has the talent to do more, she should be able to. And that's what she has been doing for the last however many years. So if you had a problem with anything she said in that interview, that means you did not watch the whole interview.
Y'all need to wrap up this Ayesha Curry discourse by the end of the day because y'all are not serious. It's very clear that none of y'all have had talks with your parents and or the elders in your family, especially the matriarch. I've talked about this all the time. The best advice my grandma gave me when I was about to go start college: go live your life before you go start a life. Did not know what the heck that meant at 18, but at 28, I understand it. She and my grandpa were married for over 50 years. God rest his soul. My dad is their youngest child. She had 5 children. She had him at 25. My parents, they were high school sweethearts. They had me when they were 26. You would think in her 50s she would want grandchildren. No. You know what she's telling me? Go figure out life first. Do you know who's asking me about getting married and having kids the most? Do you know who was trying to get me into courtships when I was in high school and college? Semi-planning my wedding? The men of my family. I don't know what episode it was, but I talked about on the podcast how I was almost in an arranged marriage. People complaining saying, oh, how can she say that on such a big platform? She's not the first to say that on a big platform. That's number 1. Number 2, she probably told Alex this because Alex literally just got married. And she probably want to let her know, hey, there's a lot that you're probably going to want to do before you start a family because that changes drastically. A lot of y'all don't want to hear the fact that women are raised different than men as children. That woman never said she regretted getting married and having kids. She said that because she was raised, that she rushed into something before she could explore who she was in this world. Going through major life changes before your frontal lobe develops and you experience life outside of your main environment of home, your hometown, your city, your state, it's a lot. And the way Ayesha came up in a very conservative and Christian household, I understand what she's saying. Fucking-lax.
The reason why a lot of y'all can't empathize with Ayesha Curry is because she has a life that you told that you were supposed to have if you did everything the right Christian way. That if you were good and you met the guy and you did great and you got married and you had the kids and the guy has money and he's successful, that you were going to be happy. She has a life that you aspired to have. She has a life that you still aspire to have. And don't get me wrong, she said some things in the past I don't agree with, but life has a funny way of teaching you things. And where that lady is saying, I do love my husband and I love my children and I love the life that I have, but I do have regrets because this is not the life that I envisioned for myself. A lot of y'all cannot understand that because that is the life that you envision for yourself. Especially because Steph Curry is considered a good man. That man goes home to his children. He don't cheat. He's a good husband. He's all the things. And people cannot understand why a woman would not be happy with that type of life and her identity only being in her relation to other people. She has been with that man since she was a child. And now she's either 40 or pushing 40. That's a long time, especially when somebody at Steph Curry's level and status, all she will ever do, that lady can go and invent something that changes the entire world and existence as we know it, and she will be known as Steph Curry's wife who also did this thing. And that's exactly how patriarchy functions. It limits women to their greatest accomplishment being marriage, their greatest accomplishment being the type of man they're able to keep. And a lot of y'all were taught that if y'all did things a very specific way, then you would be happy and you would find fulfillment, and that's not true. Because there is a level of fulfillment that you can only acquire by being able to accomplish things on your own. It doesn't matter your husband, your children, your family, your friends. What have you done for you? How have you poured into you? Who have you become in spite of all these other factors? And a lot of y'all can't see that because a lot of y'all have been lied to and told that the greatest accomplishment you will ever get in your life is a man. It's a good man.
Let's jump into my favorite part of all of the content I post on YouTube. And that's just my thoughts, where I get to kind of express what I feel about whatever we have read or gone over. So let's get into it. Woo! Okay, so recently there was this podcast that Ayesha Curry was on, as you saw from the TikTok clips. And, backstory, Ayesha Curry is married to the NBA superstar Steph Curry. They've been married 10 plus years. They've been together longer than that, and they have 4 children together. In a lot of people's eyes, she is a woman that has everything that most women could materially want, right? She's married to a very successful man. She has very beautiful children. She is living a lifestyle where she does not have to work because he makes multiple millions of dollars a year. And for many women, I believe that, myself included, that seems like it would be a really cool place to sit in. But Ayesha Curry, I'm not going to use this to bash her. I mean, it was wild, as you can see from the clips and the responses. I believe she is a great example and masterclass of a woman who had her own dreams and ambitions, but for whatever reason did not pursue them, wasn't given the space to pursue them, etc. And now she has some resentments and some, missteps and potentially anger, but I think she was just trying to be honest and authentic. So I'm probably going to be a little different than the other takes out there because I'm not going to bash her. I do think the interview was wild. I have to admit. And I personally believe if you're married to someone, and this goes both ways for men and women, if you're married to someone, you're supposed to cover your spouse. Even when they, the public facing version of them is different than the at home version of them. You're supposed to cover them. Now, that's not to say we are condoning abuse and you should stand abuse. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I feel that there was a way she could have answered those questions in a much more tactful way. I'll say that. But getting back to my point, if you have a lot of drive and ambition and and you're not able to reach for that, go for that, pursue that, whatever, and it's delayed, you're going to have a sense of dissatisfaction no matter how many material things that you have. And I feel that Ayesha Curry's interview was a masterclass of that. I feel she is an intelligent woman and she has her own mind. She didn't probably just want to be an NBA wife. And then when she became an NBA wife and that sphere of being the spouse of a professional athlete, especially one as high performing as Steph Curry, who's been to the Olympics and, won championships and has turned down visits to the White House because the sitting president at the time, who's also back again as the current president, was someone he did not want to interact with, etc. That you get a lot of status and elevation from that, but because we don't know what goes on inside the walls of their house. We only know the public-facing version of Steph Curry. So, not saying that her sentiments and her honesty and boldness in the interview wasn't warranted. It's just, I feel that there was no media training there to emote that and be able to articulate that in a way that still kept a covering over her marriage and her husband. So I believe she was being honest. I don't think anything she said was rage baity. I don't think anything she said was, even necessarily out of spite. It could have been. But when you don't get a chance to realize your dreams, and honestly, I would say her circumstance is almost like, and this is air quotes, she failed up. She married a man that became insanely successful in his craft. So she didn't go through the struggle love and a lot of things that people often go through when they delay their dreams and what they want to do and take a back seat to a partner wanting to do things. She definitely, quote unquote, failed up. Like they are living beyond comfortably. Once again, we don't know how that man acts in the house. We don't know how the money situation, we don't know any of that. But because she does not have the satisfaction of going after the things she wanted, and the way she even talked about the kids, where she said she didn't want kids, my interpretation of that is she may have felt every time she was making a stride at trying to do something, her husband got her pregnant again, as a way to sabotage what she was trying to do. So there could be some resentment there. And it's not that I feel that she doesn't love her children. It's that she's really feeling some type of way about the things she didn't get to do. Once again, I think that could have been expressed very differently and a little more tactfully. And I'm not here to bash her, but I think this is a side that we rarely get to see. I think there is an honesty there and a rawness there in an interview that women who have dreams and are going after their goals and have the education and have the drive and have the hustle, we can understand a part of what she's saying, because I know how frustrated I would be if I had, let's say, married somebody right out of college that was on, in sports and not even just became successful, he became super successful. And there is an extent that as the spouse, you have to take the back seat, especially as a woman. You've heard probably many times Michelle Obama talk about that, and how she, put some of her career ambitions on the back burner once she knew Barack really wanted to go into politics and he was climbing to different levels, etc. So it's very easy to understand her sentiments if you are the type of woman who she seems to be. She has her own ambition, she has her own goals, she has her own drive. And I think there's a little bit of bitterness there about not being someone that brands reached out to, etc. I don't know why that hasn't happened. I'm not in these people, houses. I don't know these people's business. But to me, if she never pursued media training to really, or, a brand manager or PR agent to really help her define out a really clear image of who she was, even though she's married to Steph Curry, I think that there's a lot of unrealized potential, and I think she believes that some time has passed her by and she can't do some of the things she wants to do. So I think this is a prime example of a woman who wants her own, even marrying a successful man. There may be some resentment, some bitterness, some negative emotions there that if somebody asks you about them, they're going to be honest. And once again, we as the public, we don't know how that man acts at home. We don't know how their dynamic is. We don't know if there's cheating. We don't know if there's abuse. I'm not accusing him of abuse. I'm just saying as a broader theme, we don't know. So her speaking with the realness and rawness that she was in that podcast interview there's a lot more to the situation, and there's a lot of backstory to it. So I definitely want to give her grace. I'm not mad at her. I think it was very bold. But let me know your thoughts below.
Ooh, that was a lot to unpack. But this is why I love these conversations. Ayesha's story isn't just about marriage, motherhood, or fame. It's about rediscovering you when everyone else thinks they already know who you should be. If today's conversation hit home, don't just scroll, reflect. Drop your thoughts below, share this video with another woman who's redefining her happily ever after, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next deep dive. And if you're ready for more exclusive coaching prompts, mindset exercises, and behind the scenes content, join my coffee community. We're having the conversations that change how women date, love, and live. Links in the description, gorgeous.